One of my favorite apps is Google Drive. Google Drive, very much like Dropbox, is a repository that lives in the cloud and allows you to sync multiple devices, whether it's iOS, Droid, Mac, PC. It'll allow you to synchronize those across multiple platforms. And so it becomes one of my top productivity apps because it allows me to get the job done no matter where I am. Now, as I said in my Dropbox video, I use Drive totally different than I use Dropbox. Where in Dropbox I use for clients to send stuff back and forth to my clients because it's an industry standard for them. The way I use Drive is a little different. Drive is my hard drive online. In fact, what I do is my Google Drive folder lives on my external hard drive. And this is where I store all of my folders and most of the stuff that's in my computer. So what happens is while it's on my external, I'm backing up to my external drive. My external drive is backing up to Google Drive. And this allows me to have a virtual copy of my entire hard drive available to me no matter what computer I sit down to work with. This has been an absolutely godsend and save. And the reason I started doing this and I upgraded my Google Drive, let's go back. You get 15 gigabytes of space free on the Google Drive, and then 100 gigs is $1.99, and I was fine there until I had a external drive fail and crash, which had about 1.5 years worth of information. Now, thankfully, my most important projects or my most important files that I was working on, I was using Google Drive to back those up because I use multiple computers. I start with a computer in my office. I'll pick up and leave, go to lunch with a laptop, go home to another computer. So I needed to have something that kept those files synced across all those multiple devices. Google Drive was that, and it could do it for me cheaply. And so when my external drive failed and I saw that at least my most important things were being backed up on the Google Drive, I decided to go ahead and pay the upgrade fee. So I get 1 terabyte of space for $9.99. Now, that $90 or so a year is worth it for me, or worth it to me, to know that my files are backed up and I have access to them. But there are other things that are available to me on Google Drive that aren't readily available on Dropbox. But here, let me just show you some things. So I'm inside of one of the Google folders here, and if I press the little I underneath the file, it then opens up this window which allows me to share this file, remove it, move it to a different window, print. And if you have Google Print, you can print to any computer or any printer anywhere. If you have AirPrint, you can print directly from your iOS device. I can rename it. I can even open it in several other programs that are on my iPad, such as PS Touch, my Pinnacle Studios, Evernote, even open it back up into Dropbox if I wish to, OneNote, any of these other apps. I can get a link and send this to someone. I can then decide, do I want this to be housed directly onto my portable device? And by hitting the keep on device, it will then download that particular file onto that device, which is great, especially if you're going to be working somewhere where there's not going to be any Wi-Fi or good cell. It's a good thing sometimes to grab that file and have it there on your particular device that you're working with. So I can then decide to share it with anyone. I often will share it with my assistant. I can share it with my children, especially pictures. What I do sometimes, I'll upload pictures that we've taken, and then I'll share it to people in the family. It's very easy. Put their name, their email address. You can view it. They can comment on it, or you can choose who can edit. So there are some things in there that allow you to make some changes to your access levels, and that's important when you're working with multiple people. Now, one of the things Google did, I'm going to say probably about a year ago or so, they started pulling in what was known as Google Docs into Google Drive. And what Google Docs is a generic version, if you will, of the Microsoft Office. And so there is a Word publishing document. There is a kind of like an Excel spreadsheet program, and then there is a presentation program that you can use to create PowerPoint-like designs. And so now what they've done is they have merged the two together. So inside of my Google Drive, I also have all of my Google Doc files. I even have the files from my Word. So if I upload a Word file, I can easily open this up and check this out. It opens up in Google Docs, which then allows me to make changes to it right there without having to have access to a word processor. That, my friends, is probably one of the most important things for me, is the ability to do work and to have that work housed in one place. So here in Google Drive, that right there, one, having all of my files in one place, a backup of my computer, if you will, and the ability to edit right inside of the app and share inside of the app is the reason why I think Google Drive is probably, Google Drive is one of my favorite productivity apps. I suggest, if you get a chance, go and look at it, download it, work with it. I even forgot to tell you about this. Look, this search item, I can search inside of all of my files. Oh, you know how long it takes sometimes to find things that get misplaced in syncing? Google Drive, one of the top productivity apps for busy leaders. I hope you enjoy. All right, thanks. Peace.